As you recall in the previous training video, I showed you how to access a shared folder on somebody else's computer through the network by opening up the network folder on your computer. For example, up here there's my network icon. Double click. It opens up the network folder and reveals all the computers and devices that are viewable on the network. Doesn't mean that they're accessible, but just for right now they're viewable. Of course, I'll show you in a later training video how you can go ahead and set up a shared folder so not only can people see you on the network, but access any shared folders that you have on your computer. But in this training video, I want to show you that you can access any shared folders on somebody else's computer without having to open up the network folder. Well, that is, in order to set this up, I first have to access the network folder, but then once I access and set up these two different ways to access the shared folder on the network, I won't have to go through the network folder again. And I'll explain the benefits of doing that. So the first way is to do what's called mapping a network drive. And basically all we're going to do is we're going to take the shared folder that's available on Jason's laptop here and make it available through the computer here. Double click on the computer. You got a list of all the hard drives, your hard drives in the computer, and any external devices or hard drives attached to your computer. And when it comes to mapping a network drive, in other words, you're taking something off of the network and you're mapping it or giving it a drive letter here. So the next one would be O, or whatever drive letter I want to assign that's not currently assigned, and mapping it here as a drive with that letter. So when I double click on it, it takes me right to the shared folder, Jason's shared folder on his computer, without having to go through or open up the network folder. Let me go back here to the window that's behind it, the computer, and click on it to bring it to the front. Now why would I want to do that? Well, I don't know about you, but with all my backup drives here and files, when it comes to managing things and I can click and drag and back them up to my external hard drives, I like one-stop shopping. If I have anything else to share on the network while I'm backing up, I can do it all within one window here. I don't have to split my task and go, let me open up the network, give some stuff for people on the network, then come over here and back it up. So if anybody deletes it or destroys it on the network, I got a copy here. That's one example of the benefits of having a mapped network drive, or just basically a shortcut here in the computer window to that shared folder on somebody else's computer. So let me go ahead and show you how to map a network drive, or at least bring the shortcut over here into the computer folder. And to do that, we have to go to the network folder. And it's over here in the navigation pane. I don't have to go back into this folder behind it. Let me go ahead and close out, which is the beauty of having the navigation pane here. So come over here to the network, click on its arrow to turn it down to reveal all the devices and computers viewable on the network. There's Jason's laptop. Click and turn down his arrow, and I've got two shared folders that I can map or bring over here as a shortcut basically, and map it with the drive letter here to be viewable in my computer folder. Now if you don't see it here, when I turn down the arrow, if you don't see the shared folder here, you can't map it. In other words, if I come over here and I want to map carry that folder and bring it over here as a shortcut in the computer folder, just give it a simple right click. You see where it says map network drive? It's as easy as that. So I can go ahead and click on it, and it says, okay, what drive letter do you want to assign it, because it's going to be appearing with all the other drives here. So it starts off at the bottom Z, which is fine with me, and it will reconnect at logon, which is fine. Go ahead and click finish. It automatically opens up that map network drive. Let me go ahead and close out and show you what it looks like. Well, it's not going to list it right below the hard disk drives, because in my current view it's grouping by type. So it has all the hard disk drives together, all the devices with removable storage together, and if I scroll over, there's my network location, or the shared folder on the network, Jason's folder, that has been mapped as a drive here in my computer folder. So if I double click on it, it opens it up and it takes me right to that folder where I can view the picture of his puppy. I'm going to go ahead and click back. If I find a blank area somewhere here and I right click, as we learned in an earlier training video, and go down to group by, and I come over and down and I say none, then it puts them all together here, no longer in their separate groups. And then if I'm finished and I no longer want to have access to a shared folder through my computer folder, just come down here and, when in doubt, right click and go ahead and disconnect. Of course, don't forget that you can rename this if you don't like the name of it and call it Jason's. Hit enter. In any case, right click. When you go up to disconnect, it removes it. You're no longer connected to the shared folder on his computer through the network and making it viewable in your computer folder here. Now if you want to have access to a shared folder, then you have to go back and do it the original way that I showed you in the previous training video by opening up the network folder here, or going to the network folder and drilling down, or turning down the arrows and opening up his laptop here, and then of course accessing it through these folders here. One final note about mapping the network drive, as I alluded to earlier in the training video, is that you can only map those shared folders to be displayed over here as a shortcut in the computer folder on your computer. Only those that are over here available in the network that, well, basically are in the first level. And what I mean by that is that when you turn down an arrow, like on Jason's laptop, this is the first level. If I go ahead and turn down a second arrow, you can see all the subfolders down below. And notice the difference between the hierarchy, the first level of folders that are being shared, and all those subfolders, is that the first level has a cable with the little coloring of green next to it. So if I right click on any of those, I get the map network drive. Let me click off in a blank area. If I right click on any of these other subfolders, including carry down here, I don't get the map network drive, okay? Long story short is that in an upcoming training video on sharing your folders or making them available on the network, is that you can do a basic share, and what that means is that sure, everybody has access to them, but they have to drill down to get to that, well, in this case, the carry folder. Remember, Jason has the picture of his puppy in that folder. Or in addition to basic sharing, you can go into the advanced sharing settings and say, not only do I want to share it, but I want it as the first level here when people have access to my computer across the network. So if I didn't do any advanced sharing, but I just did basic sharing for carry, this folder here for carry wouldn't be here, but it would be down here. I just have to expand it and come down here and drill down to be able to click on it and have access to it, as opposed to the advanced settings and clicking it to access it right there in the first level of the hierarchy of all the folders that are shareable on Jason's laptop computer. And then finally, the second way to access a shared folder on the network without having to open up the network folder or mapping it to your computer folder as a network drive, well, first of all, you have to access the network to set this up. It's just basically creating a shortcut, literally a shortcut to that folder. And there's two ways you can do it. Open up any folder on your computer and then go ahead and expand the computer that has a shared folder like Jason's laptop. And then down below, again, we're looking at these shared folders here, or at least in the hierarchy, the first level shared. So you got the cable with the green in it. If I go ahead and I click on it and I drag it over to my desktop, it says it'll create a link or a shortcut to that folder. Let go, and when I close out and double click, it opens it up and takes me right to that folder. Let me come down here and expand it again. Now again, like mapping the network drive, it only works on the first level of folders that are shared in the hierarchical structure when you turn down the computer, because if you expand and reveal the subfolders, if you go ahead and you click and drag it, it's just going to create a copy of that folder and all the contents, well, at least that are shareable, onto your desktop. So if I let go, double click, open it up, it copied the desktop folder, the shared folder carry, and the pooch. So, well, if you want to be able to copy folders, but keep in mind it only works on those folders that aren't in the first tier or level of the hierarchy, only subfolders. Right click on that and delete it and send it to the garbage can. So what if Jason does have the shared folder, carry, but it's not here in the first level of the hierarchy of folders that are being shared or that are available on the network? Okay, so let me go ahead and turn this down. So if carry isn't here, but it's being shared, then the second way to do this, let me go ahead and close out of here and right click and delete that shortcut and say yes, is to find a blank area somewhere on your desktop, right click, go down to new, and then go over and up to shortcut. And it says where is this item that you want to create a shortcut to. Go ahead and click on browse. It's the network, right? Click on it to turn it down. It's Jason's laptop. Turn it down to expand it. Of course, I could select carry, but we're pretending that that folder is not at the first level here, that we have to go ahead and expand users to get to Jason's laptop, to find his desktop to expand, and there's the folder carry, okay? Click okie dokie. Doesn't that look familiar in an earlier training video? The backslashes. That's the computer's address to find out other folders that are shared on the network. It's going to be Jason's laptop computer, and he's got to go through the users to the user laptop to get to his desktop to be able to finally get to the folder that's being shared, okay? The address all the way down to the shared carry folder. Go ahead and click next and give it a name. You can call it Jason's shared folder or just Jason, and then click finish. And there's the shortcut. Double click. Takes me right to his folder that's being shared on his desktop. In fact, if you come up here and click on the first arrow before desktop, see where it's coming from? His laptop, which you drill down to the users, and his username is laptop, and on his desktop, in the carry folder, is the picture of his puppy. Thanks for watching. Hey, as a quick reminder, if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. You can also click on me and subscribe to my channel to get notified of the latest videos. And for all my training, please visit me at my website, dreamforce.us.